Hi everybody, welcome to my channel Frugalisama. My name's Sam and this is where I talk about all things sewing, and today is day 4 of my Vlogmas with a twist series. So I'm going to start with D for decoration and with a not so fun festive fact. Try saying that after a glass of sherry. So the average British household spends around about £185 on Christmas decorations each year, and quite a lot of that is plastic. 125,000 tonnes of Christmas decorations are actually discarded and sent to landfill. That totals the equivalent of £1.2 million. This includes 68,488 miles of fairy lights, which is equivalent of 500 tonnes. So these actually can be sent to recycling or mended. I mean, you can actually repair fairy lights quite easily. So if you take those to your recycling centre, there should be a little department there where you can actually recycle electricals, or local supermarkets. Some of the larger supermarkets in the UK have got a little electrical recycling bin there, and you can take them there. That's if they're broken, obviously. So also a report by the Business Waste Management Service has shown that candles are one of the worst offenders in Christmas decorations. The UK candle market is now worth over £90 million, and over a quarter of households are now purchasing candles quite regularly. And often they're packaged in plastic wrap, even with plastic holders now. I think tea lights are probably the worst offenders for this one. The problem with these is that people are failing to recycle the remains of their cosy evenings in. So the average candle only burns for about 6 hours, and then it's practically unusable. And for that 6 hours then, the remains will remain in landfill for over 1,000 years. But plastic isn't the only culprit with these. It's, if you've got glass in it, they're quite difficult to get the wax out of. And I've got a top tip for you. If you have a candle that's got glass surroundings, you can just boil your kettle, pour it onto the candle, the remains of the candle, and the wax will just float to the top, and you're left with a lovely smelling disc. I actually put mine into my underwear drawer, and it lasts for ages. I've had one in my underwear drawer for months and months, and it still smells really, really nice. And then you can recycle the glass, or you can reuse it, repurpose it, use it as a glass, or grow your plant cuttings in it or something like that. It is a little bit more work to actually separate that wax. I think that's the problem, is that they're a little bit more difficult, and I think mostly the general public sort of focus on packaging, recycling and things like that, and things like a candle holder and what have you, it's a little bit more difficult to recycle. So there's a top tip for you. So for a nice cheap decoration, the long-term impact really isn't worth it unless you're going to be able to recycle it. The other problem is that a lot of candles, especially the cheaper end, are out of paraffin, which is a byproduct of petroleum, which contributes to CO2 and greenhouse gases. It's putting a demand on already sort of limited resources on the petrol side. So luckily for ethically minded consumers, you can get soy candles now and beeswax candles. There are issues, I know, with beeswax candles, so it's down to each consumer what they choose. And I do know that soy can be an issue for some people as well. So the other thing about Christmas decorations is, do we really need new ones every year to follow each different trend? I remember my grandma getting her Wessel cups down every year. They tended to be made of glass and were easily shattered, and now obviously they're made out of plastic. So if you get fed up of them, can you perhaps swap them with a friend or family, or can you repurpose them? Can you cover them in fabric? As sewers, we've got loads of fabric hanging about, or offer them on FreeCycle or Marketplace or something like that. And conversely, you can pick up somebody else's from FreeCycle or Facebook Marketplace as well, or swap with friends and family. But I think making your own decorations is a lovely way to spend an afternoon with friends or your children. I spent a lovely afternoon over in the studio making rag wreaths with my friends. We opened a bottle of Prosecco, got some music on, got some mince pies, no sewing included. We're just tying rag wreaths to a frame, and we've got a lovely memory from that afternoon, and we'll have a decoration that will last us for years and years. And it was essentially made out of scraps, so it's a very low cost way of spending an afternoon. But other ideas are, the old-fashioned paper chains that we used to make as children. Could do that in fabric. We've got plenty of fabric kicking about as sewists. We could make them out of sheet paper or maps or something like that. Or how about having a baking afternoon and making your own gingerbread baubles and decorating them with white icing? They look lovely. I wouldn't recommend doing them now. if I was doing them, I'd probably eat them before Christmas, or the dog will get them. So I wouldn't recommend doing them now, but a bit closer to Christmas, it's a lovely way to spend an afternoon. Sorry, that was a printer. Or you can make those paper snowflakes that we used to make as children and get them to hang them up in the windows if you've got children. I think kids love making things like this. It's a nice way to spend a rainy afternoon like we've got today. Some beautiful examples of fabric baubles online. Loads and loads of YouTube tutorials if you just Google it on YouTube. Or how about making some festive bunting? You could make really small ones to make as a garland on your tree to replace tinsel, or you can make bigger ones to go over your mantelpiece, or you can make larger ones to decorate the house. But I think the nicest way to decorate the house is with a bit of greenery, bringing in some holly or some ivy or some mistletoe. Obviously, if you've got small children or animals, you need to be a bit wary of that. My grandma used to bring in a holly bush every year and decorate that, and we survived. A lovely way to decorate the mantelpiece or the rest over the top of pictures and things like that. So let me know what your favourite way is to decorate the house at Christmas. Have you got some decorations that have lasted years? Let me know what your oldest one is. That'd be an interesting one in the comments. And also let me know if you make gingerbread ones and if you have to remake them before Christmas because you've eaten them all. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I've been really enjoying everybody's ideas that we've been exchanging in the comments, so leave me a comment below. That's a great way to support the channel, and thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.